Hey everyone, it's Bruce Watson here at Watson Chiropractic, your chiropractor here in Manteca. What this video today is going to show you is the first visit experience. If you look at my page, after the first visit, which is a scheduled visit where you get your exam and your first adjustment, after that it's 100% drop in, and look at my page to see how quick and easy those visits are. That's a little different. So this is your initial exam and your first adjustment. And so we've got Francesca with us today. And just to be transparent, which is all you'll ever get here, is that she is a regular patient volunteering to be a new patient for today. But after I've taken your history, we're going to start right at that point on what it's going to be like for the initial exam and that first adjustment. And so Francesca, I'm just going to explain what I'm going to find in your spine and what's going to happen for your first adjustment. Looking at this plastic model, I'm not just going to check your area of main concern in your neck, but your full spine. And I'm going to do that by simply pushing on each vertebra when you lay down, and most of the vertebrae in your spine move independently of the ones above and below. That's the healthy areas. The problem areas simply look like this. They get stuck in a rotation one way or the other. And so that old saying, my back went out and the chiropractor put it back in, is a very dramatic, incorrect way of thinking about it. I want you to think of it correctly as a fixation. So it's a slight rotation, but it's a fixation, and that fixation always puts pressure on the nerves at that level, decreasing nerve flow to muscles and organs at that level. So when I push on those, what are called subluxations or fixation patterns, they're going to be tender and sensitive because the nerve irritation causes the muscles to be very sensitive and a little tender. And so what I'm going to do is gently show you where the problems are, and then actually firmly push on the normal areas right next to the problem, so that you know that I know where the problems are, and there's a big difference between the normal areas and the problem areas in your spine. As we go, I'm going to get you adjusted. Now with that adjustment, you're going to hear a pop, and I think it's important that people understand that pop sound you hear is not bone against bone or cartilage against cartilage. When we open a joint that's stuck, a little bubble forms in that joint. So I'll have you go ahead and lay face down here. I'm going to start with your low back and work my way up. So most chiropractors are going to look at your feet when they're assessing your low back, and your right leg is pulled up a little shorter than your left. It's not an actual bony leg length difference. I can see you're laying a little tilted, and so most people have it right at the bottom of the spine, and you're no exception. You can feel, like I showed you on that plastic model, this is moving, and it's more sensitive there, right?
Yeah.
So right at the bottom of the spine, that bottom vertebra and the pelvic joint on the left are just a little tilted, and that's why that right leg looks a little shorter. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So we're going to get the pressure off those nerves in just a second. And again, you can feel, I'm going to push firmly through here, and this feels fine, right? Until we get right there. Feel that?
Yeah.
So we're going to get an adjustment right here first. Take a breath. And all the way out. Perfect. Go ahead and face me this way. Line on your side. Just like that. Breath. And all the way out. Ooh, good adjustment. And then I'm going to have you just like that. Take a breath.
Ooh.
Perfect. All right. You know, I'm going to have you take that out for your ponytail. Thank you. Okay. And so again, getting back to the fixation and how common it is, I want people to understand what I'm going to show you in your neck. Every single person I see school age and up has, because of simply hunching, and then throw in all the different physical, chemical, emotional stresses that we experience in daily life. There's lots of causes like sleeping funny, but mostly posture. And what I'm going to show you is you have the same pattern that most everybody has, and that is the middle neck is fine, and right up top, feel how sensitive that is, and right there. And that's simply from hunching, not to mention all the other life stresses. So we're going to get a good adjustment right up top and right here. This is going to open nerve flow to your sinuses and ears and eyes. Ooh, perfect. And then one more. Good. And so the last thing I'm going to do before I have you come up is show you why it generally takes a series of adjustments to make a lasting change, because this is where it was normal, this is where it was stuck, and you can feel it's moving and looser, but no matter how firmly I push here, it's still more sensitive there, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, Come on up and tell me how you feel. Certainly should feel a little looser.
Yeah, definitely looser.
Okay.
It was tighter up here.
So what I was explaining and what I'll explain to you on your first visit is the first adjustment, whether if you've never been adjusted before or if it's been a long time since your last adjustment, it generally takes a series of adjustments to make a lasting change. And this is why. That first adjustment is very much like one workout. If you work out once, you're not in shape. It obviously takes some repetition to make a lasting change. With physical activity, it takes repetition and time to make a lasting change when you change your diet. So any health change takes time, and so do chiropractic adjustments, because the muscles, tendons, and ligaments around those fixation patterns, or what are called subluxations, that we all have, they pull that misalignment right back to stuck within a few hours of your first few adjustments, really. And so what I'm going to recommend to most people is that I see you frequently for the first month. That frequency depends on the case and the severity and what I see in your history and your exam. And I only have this conversation with people on their first visit. After that, it's really your health and your decision how frequently you come in. And so I want people to understand, when I have this conversation with you, it's not every time you come in. Some people just decide that they want to stop by, sometimes a few times a year or whenever. To make a lasting change, it does take a little repetition if you're having some chronic or even an acute flare-up. And again, this is why. Just to give you one last visual. When I'm adjusting your spine, I am not treating your symptoms. And I know that's a little confusing, and nobody would be walking through my door if they weren't feeling better. But a drug treats a symptom and leaves the cause. What we're doing with the adjustment is the objective is not to get you feeling better, but to get you healing better. And this is what I mean. Your brain is communicating with the body, and the body's giving feedback to the brain through the nerves. At the level of that misalignment or subluxation in your spine, you're getting a reduction in that connection between your brain and your body. So the adjustment simply facilitates your body's ability to heal itself by getting just a little pressure off those nerves, which is our master control system, right? But the muscles, tendons, and ligaments pull it right back to stuck. So with some repetition, getting a series of adjustments in that first month, we're going to see more of a lasting change. Just like exercise, you're going to get a lot different results if you are exercising frequently versus infrequently. So I hope that gives you a little insight as to what's going to happen on your first visit, and I look forward to seeing you in the clinic soon. Be well.